Ride with me.
Get in, y'all.
Ride with me.
Come on, y'all.
Ride with me.
Hop in, y'all.
Ride with me. Get in, y'all. Ride with me. We cruising through the city. Let me know what you gon' see. Come on, y'all. Ride with me. Now ride. We gon' ride. She gon' ride. We gon' ride. Now ride. He gon' ride. They gon' ride. We gon' ride. Come on, y'all. Ride with me.
Thank you guys for tuning in to the show today. Today we have a wonderful show. We're going to be checking in with J.Orr. He's our commercial pilot, private pilot with Mr. Flying Club. We're going to tell you all about the ins and outs of becoming a pilot, as well as, just the preparations to take off, take flight.
What's going on? My name is J.Orr. I'm a private pilot, instrument rated, and I fly to Airborne Aviation. Today I'm going to be showing you guys the pre-flight and the flight portion of a PA-2A-181 Archer, and I'll be answering some questions on the way. Now I'm at the airplane now. I took off the cover. I'm gonna put it in the back, and I'm gonna check all the lights and all the other extremities, make sure we're good for flight. And then you have your beacon light and your white tail light, which will tell you that you're flying in the air, and you see these two lights, you know the airplane's flying away from you and not towards you. And then after that, you just check if the flaps are tight. And then you turn off the power. All right, so now this part of it is checking for any deformities on the wing, making sure there's nothing, no cracks, no leaks, no nothing like that, making sure we're good for flight as well. And checking for the fuel, got full tanks, looks good to the tabs. Strut height, what that means is that the height of the landing gear bearing. If it's too low or if it's too high, it could risk failure and it could break on flight. Oil, super important. You got to make sure it's within the manufacturer's means, which is between 6 and 8 quarts of oil. It's always good to just make sure there's no scratches, no cracks, anything like that, because if there is a scratch or a crack on this thing, just like a car window, it could break and just literally just like glass, it could just break open and you won't have propellers when you're flying. Always want to just make sure all the gears in here are tight, checking vents are free, make sure no bird nests inside because birds love to get in here. Check the fuel capacity. Stall warning horn right here. So if we're getting ready to stall, the air up under the wings of the airplane will lift this tab and will tell me that I'm critically slow. Also, one more thing that's super important is it's called the pedostatic tube. What that is that's this tube right here. We cover it so no debris gets inside of it. This tube gives us airspeed, altitude, and vertical speed. What vertical speed is our rate of climb. So it's either how fast we're climbing up or how fast we're descending. If we lose this gauge, we lose this instrument anyway, flight is almost impossible. Then we have the horizontal stabilator. So unlike airplanes like over there, like Cessnas, this is an Archer. This has a horizontal stabilator and not a horizontal stabilizer. So basically it's two pieces in one, and it allows the airplane to pitch up or down. So on takeoff, this is our main tool. This is what will get us in the sky. Besides our wings, this is exactly what's gonna get us in the sky. This is our rudder. This will control the yawing axis of the airplane. So if you wanna turn your body like this in the sky, this is what's going to control that. Right here, this black pointy antenna right here is called your ELT. Your ELT is your emergency locator transmitter. By any chance, if we ever went down or we ever had a hard landing, this will go off. It's a pretty scary sound. It'll go off and emergency services will be able to come and find us anywhere we are in the US or in the world. These are our COM 1 and COM 2 antennas. This allows me to talk to air traffic control up there. And up under the cover, which is covered at the moment, is our GPS tabs. So our GPS antenna is right here. Without that antenna, we're not going to be able to navigate. Then you have your VOR stations and stuff like that, but this is very primitive. You don't really need this. Mainly this, a couple of comms, and you're good to go. That's the Archer pre-flight. Ready to go. So what turned me on to aviation is my passion just to fly in general. I'm sorry, the wind, but my mother works in aviation for a private jet company, and I was able to see airplanes up close all my life, and I got a chance to be in the cockpit of a plane once, and ever since then I was hooked for life, and I knew this is what I want to do. Started becoming a pilot when I was in high school. I was 17 years old, and I really wanted to go fly, so I joined this club, and I found an instructor, and he helped me build up my time. Basically, by the time I became a pilot, it was like 3 years later, over 100 hours of flight time and ground study, and I earned my associate's degree in humanities to be able to further my career with the prestigious flight school. So Mystere Flying Club, the benefit to joining Mystere Flying Club is being able to fly the Archer. You get to not only like even before you step into this plane, you have to study. You can't even come near this airplane until you are ready to go. Even though this isn't a flight school, like the instructors within the club, like they make sure that like you know your stuff. If you don't know your stuff, you'll go up in the air and you'll mess up, and really bad things can happen. So the whole purpose of joining the club is to learn to fly and to really go for your dreams, shoot for the stars. My biggest obstacle in my journey to become a pilot, unfortunately, was availability. Straight out of high school, I worked a full-time job, 48 hours a week, and it was really hard to come, spend my time like literally on the airplane. So once I got my degree and I was able to come back and flight train, full-time, I was able to dedicate myself, and I became a private pilot in 3 months. And then I became instrument rated in another month after that. The advice I can give to anyone trying to be in aviation is, this is hard. It's like you might look at this airplane like, this is a beautiful plane, like I can't wait to just go up and fly, but it's gonna take a lot of work before you can even get there. You have to really dig deep, really strive for greatness, but if you don't, you'll never get there, and accidents do happen. So the best thing to do, anyone who wants to come into aviation, is study. Before you do anything, study. So my ultimate goal in aviation is to be a commercial operator. I would love one day to be someone's pilot on JetBlue or Delta or something like that, flying across the world, or even across the country. Airplanes is my passion, flying is my passion, airfoils in general, which means anything that makes the airplane fly, is my passion. So anything that I can do to get up in the air and fly, have a purpose in life, to fly a plane, is what I want to do, my purpose. All right, what's up guys? That concludes the flight. It was a good one, not too many bumps, it was great. I'm putting her away right now, but if you guys ever want to fly out, contact the company and get that going.
Thank you, Jonah, for that information. Now, I just want you guys to know, just take a moment and just let it sink in. This is a young African-American male. You understand? He's in his early 20s. Understand? He made his sacrifices. He stayed focused, and look at him. He's a commercial pilot at this moment. You understand? You might be going to a plane to take off. You don't even know that he's the pilot that's flying the plane. And that's for real. and that's amazing. So we need to encourage our young people to, you know, continue to dream high, think big. Nothing is unattainable. You can do anything you want to do. All right, just keep that in mind. And you also have his contact information. Reach out to him. You know, he can take you up for a flight, private. He can give you some private pilot lessons if you want. You know, or he can, you know, he could charter you something if you want to charter something. He's the guy to talk to if you want to plane. All right.